Well, hello and welcome. Today I'm going to be doing another cat portrait. I think this one will be really cool too. So I've got a lot of really lovely light and shadow, and yeah, this is a younger cat. So this is Malachi, and he looks like he's about to spring out of the picture. So I thought that if he looked like he was going to spring out of the painting, I'll have done my job well. So I just love that expression that he has. So yeah, I'm gonna just get into it. I'm gonna do a little sketching, and I'm going to lay in some liquid colors, and then I'll just keep working the whole thing with the knife. So yeah, hope you enjoy. Alright, so I think I'm gonna just do a little sketching with a little bit of, just putting some lavender solvent out on my palette, and just gonna grab a little brush and a little bit of burnt sienna. I've been liking burnt sienna for my sketching layers just because it's a little bit warm. I think it works pretty well. So I've got, just trying to kind of locate things here. Let's see, his chin about here. Top of his head about here. Top of his ear about there. Top of his other ear about there. Let's see, ear. His ear height is about the same distance as the top of his eye. I don't need all this to be extremely perfect, but it's helpful to have a sense. I'm almost putting in some of these lines just so I don't lose track of where I'm going. Really got a great little stance. It's like elbow back. The ear. The ear is a little over. be close enough for now. End up covering up a bunch of this, but I've been finding with portraits having a somewhat strong drawing it's good. I like to not have it. I don't want to go too far because I also don't like to really worry about the fact that I'm going to end up covering a lot of it up, but it helps me just kind of think about this a little bit. Kind of this little line of light here kind of directs you into the image, which I like. Okay. Alright, cool. Now I'm just gonna do a little bit more. I'm gonna put a little bit of burnt umber into this. I'm gonna just start, actually switch to a bigger brush. I wanna just kind of map out some of these shadows maybe. Yeah, I'm gonna mix up a bunch. I'm gonna go with a fairly big brush now. So I think for my dark in this, I'm thinking about going kind of a gray or blue. Kind of like I don't know, I kind of want like a deep gray, I don't know, sort of on the border of blue and brown. It actually shifts quite a bit. I've got some warm shadows and some cool shadows. I think I'm gonna go with the cool shadow for right now. I'm gonna actually use a color that I don't use too often. I think that's gonna be ivory black. And a lot of people don't know this, but ivory black is actually very slightly blue. The reason I'm gonna use it for this is because I wanna mix it somewhat diluted. And I actually like that ivory black is not very strong, so I can apply it kind of thin. I'm gonna actually mix a little bit of blue into it just to push it just a little bit more blue, but I don't want a strong blue that then is gonna kind of like bleed back through everything else, because I want this to be kind of a subtle effect. So go ahead and grab this knife, and I'm gonna grab just a touch of ultramarine. Yeah, that's a good amount. Just like that. I'm gonna get kind of like a nice inky blue. I think that's gonna work. I'm gonna add some lavender spike. And some linseed oil. I'll start with this. I really like images that have like really strong light and shadow. I think they're challenging, but they're really rewarding too. Kind of seeing how this is going to go on. That's pretty strong. Okay, we'll find out. So let's go and grab this brush here. start sketching in my dark areas, which is going to be a lot of this background, even a bit more of this lavender. I'm gonna scrub this in fairly thin. Just moving around wherever I see kind of a dark area, even on his face. Just brushing that out a little thin there. I don't want to lose the definition, but there's this little bit of light right behind his head that's kind of a little triangle that points down in between his ears. It's actually just kind of naturally happening on this pillow back here. It's kind of cool. Keep adding a little bit of solvent here. Putting it kind of to the side so that I can sort of choose how much of it I use as I add this in. Kind of trying to do the areas that are more in shadow, less hit by the sun with this black layer. And then I'm gonna go into them and add some more color, but just kind of setting them up this way first. start. Okay, and I'm going to mix up my light layer. Probably the trickiest thing about this image is that I have a cat that has sort of black and white fur and some sort of like golden-y tones as well. And then some of that white fur is in shadow and some of that white fur is very brightly lit. And the couch that he's sitting on is like kind of tan. So there's a lot of similar tones. And like really the light is kind of what's doing everything here. So I'll try to work with that and do something cool. So I'm going to use some titanium white and some yellow ochre as my light tone here. Just going to give kind of a more golden look to everything that the sun is hitting. And it's not going to be my lightest color though. I'm going to be able to have a little bit more room to go all the way to white, but it will give me kind of a warmer tone too. So same process. I'm going to add a little bit of solvent. Do 3 droppers and a little bit of linseed oil. Also do 3 droppers. And I'm gonna try and stay out of that messy area there. Keep this somewhat clean, at least to start. Looks pretty good. So my lightest areas that I'm seeing kind of right on his nose here. Just kind of cool. And going right onto his chin. I switched to a brush, but I thought I'd sort of pop a little bit in first. Grab my other brush. I've got 2 this size actually, which is handy. And I'll just start working this in. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I'm curious how this goes. I think it's going to work. I've been doing a lot of painting with like really warm shadows lately. This one didn't have that. This one had a much cooler shadow, so I thought I'd try something new. And as I'm going around, I'm just kind of scrubbing into some different areas here. using it as a way to kind of sculpt the space. That's something what this does is it just starts to fill in the canvas a little bit and gives me something to slide the knife around on top of too. Just gives me a way to kind of get acquainted with the whole thing. Paws are all kind of gripping like that. It's got a good little stance. Try and keep that in mind as I go on this. Soften that edge a little bit. Okay. Just kind of scrubbing around, trying to fill in these areas that are a little bit starved. Try and clean up a little bit. I don't want any like big pools of paint hanging around. So just anywhere that's a little thick, I'm just going. Anywhere that's a little thick or a little thin, I'm just giving a little bit of attention to. Probably I'm about at a point where I can move on though. Cool. All right. So I guess I'll wash out some brushes. Feels a little bit action-y already, which is good. One down, one to go. Good. Let's mix up some more colors, I think. So I think I want to focus on the darkest areas first. So I'm looking through those and just kind of deciding on what I'm seeing. There are a few warmer shadows, so I think I'm going to mix up a warm shadow color and start working with that. Yeah, just kind of move from dark to light. I'm going to use this little round knife, just because I find it to be a nice convenient size for this. It should work well for a lot of these shapes that I want to make. Yeah, so I'm going to make a warmer dark with a bit of alizarin and maybe actually a little bit of burnt sienna and some of this black that I already have out. So I'll take a little alizarin, a little burnt sienna. I'll go into this mix here. The tinting strength on it is actually very low. I can actually add a little bit of viridian just to make it a little darker. You can see as I was even mixing in the alizarin, it doesn't really stay dark. It really lifts pretty easily. Which is why I'm not too worried about having this black kind of overwhelm the whole painting. Start back here. Just start defining some of these shapes. And over here, get a little bit more of that. Actually got a dark line here that I was missing before. It's in an awkward spot. A little bit of a tricky spot to get to. I'm gonna just pick the canvas up for now and move it back down in a minute. And should I just put my arm in the paint too? Alright. Adding a little bit of raw umber as well. This shadow can get a little extra care since it's leading us into that whole scene. As I'm seeing it, kind of the front edge of this shadow is kind of shifted the same way. And then goes a little cooler and a little bit bluer as it goes back. So leave that there. And come in here, just kind of carving that a little bit better. We've got kind of a similar shadow. And fill that area in there. That's okay. It'll work for now. Kind of want to keep my options open with like some of these edge placements, but I want to kind of keep working up the atmosphere here. Really, it's pretty dramatic with all these different shifts. So on some level, I gotta just keep working and trust it. I suspect it's gonna get messier looking before it gets cleaner looking now. And then I need a little bit warmer. Put a little burnt sienna into this white that I've got here. keep morphing in all these different sort of tan tones that I see. A little yellow ochre, and a little burnt sienna, a little lighter. There we go. Just getting some of these little shadows in here to kind of glow. That's what starts to make the fur. The right effect. Cover up that eye for now. I wanna get it back, obviously, but I think trying to preserve it was gonna just mess up my shadows in here for now. Got kind of a light blue almost. In here. Starting to get the feel of the lighting anyway. There's a lot of detail to do still, but I think starting to get the look anyway. Grabbing just a little bit of white. I want some white that's gonna stand up a little bit right here. And gonna have some more for here as well, but just start thinking about it. Come in here with this little flat brush for a second, just tidy some things up. Sometimes if you just kind of go over a whole area like this, you can kind of get it to simplify. I think right here, this highlight kind of leads you toward his face, and so I want that to look pretty clean. Otherwise, this whole shadow's pretty simple. Could have used a bigger brush on this. And then in here, I've got some other areas. Kind of simple there. Just kind of simplifying a lot of this. I think this background actually, there's like some pillows and they've got kind of a checker pattern. And there's kind of a lot going on, but most of it's gonna just be distracting. So I'm kind of thinking of just simplifying it a lot and softening it quite a bit. I want him to have his cozy surroundings to spring out of, but it's not a couch painting. And so see what I got here. Got his tail. This whole area is a little confusing. Okay. I think there might be some nice opportunities to kind of come back in and do some texture things in some of these areas here too. Smooth that out. I think I've been gravitating toward a brush a little bit on this just because some of the shapes are kind of complicated, but I think once I have the basics in place, I'll probably just keep swapping back and forth, honestly. It's kind of working for me, so why mess with it? Just kind of going along all these different areas, seeing different lines. Where shall I go next? Just want to soften up this face area just a little bit there. Just mostly because I don't want. I try to avoid having thick paint anywhere that I want to have detail. You can have thick paint there eventually, but before then it just causes problems. If you're going to brush it out, you might as well brush in some useful lines too. So I'm just kind of giving some thought to the fur pattern that's here. This fur's pretty short, so won't be as textural in that sense as some of the other ones I've done, but it will be pretty nice. like this kind of like glowy look that you can get though. I just sweeping out some of this color here. I'll try and make some other nice colors here. I'm going to take some of this unbleached titanium white and mix it in with a little bit of this burnt sienna alizarin mix that I had. Just sort of start getting some of these start working in this eye just a little bit too. I think it's a little distracting having it not filled in at all. There's actually some really great lighting on this eye. Making a little bit of this kind of glowy orange here. I always love this. It's like the sun coming through the ear, I guess. Start working it in there. It's gonna have a couple of different shades. Over here too. It's really tempting to start going in there with all the highlights, and I think in a lot of ways that is going to be what makes this one, but I want to start just kind of working on some of these edges here first. Need it to be just a little sharper there. Looks pretty good. The same thing right in here. And just bringing a little sharpness starts to really pick the face up there. Let's see, I need kind of a cooler white. It's actually not even. Let's go a little cobalt, a little of this gray. Just trying to pick up a little bit of light here. Could go even a little lighter. Just kind of grabbing a couple they're not even really highlights because they're just like slightly more lit shadow areas. Just trying to give a little bit more form in here. Trying to like blend and make the shapes at the same time. It's kind of, it's a little bit tricky, but I feel like it's something that I've been kind of figuring out how to do lately. And get these toes somewhat blocked in here. Just go into that warm shadow color that I was using before. Just a little bit more ultramarine. Let's go in a little bit more blue purple. Realizing this leg area is a little bit light. Kind of the thing that happens as you work on this. It's like everything's wrong for most of it. You know, just kind of get it a little closer, get it a little closer, make that shape a little better, kind of thing. Just mostly stick with it. There we go. Doesn't need to be a really sharp edge there. Coming along. Try and get this actually is working really well. This fabric texture is kind of close to the canvas texture. And as I kind of scruffle it like this, it starts to give me that. It's really cool. It's sort of all about kind of building up these layers and then knocking them back and no. It's all just experimenting, really. I do like that. Okay. Cool. Let's see. Thinking about taking a little bit of a break soon. Thinking about anything that I want to kind of tidy up before I let it sit for a bit. I might throw a couple highlights on before I give it a break. This one here seems like a good one. And there's another kind of grayer one right along this edge here. Coming along. Okay. I've got this kind of elbow highlight, I guess we'll call it. It's rather bright. Just gonna kind of work it in there. I might build this one up over a couple of layers, but I'm just gonna start laying it in there. All the way to these toes. A similar thing over on these toes here, though this paw is much more shaded. Actually, go a bit darker with the whole thing first, and then I'll work the highlight back into it. So. Really cool. It's too dark. It's a little lighter. I want this glowing, like I can have it a little bit lighter. It's not too bad. There we go. Okay. I think I am gonna keep going and put a little bit of white on the face too. Just start building it up anyway. Also let me kind of create a bit more texture to use as I continue to build it out. I like the face is pretty big in this one. I feel like Sometimes it's hard to get like scenery and up close at the same time. This picture worked pretty well for that. There we go. I don't want to let a lot of this set up, and then as it's a little bit more dry, it'll sort of naturally build a little bit in a more controlled way. So that's fine. So just a little darker here, though. I get that like turned wrist thing that it's doing right now. It's actually, that might have actually done it. I think it just kind of, this'll, as I refine things, I think it'll get more in there, but maybe actually I need to move the arm over a little bit more. This is probably, no, it's not a bad idea, it's just a little bit risky. That worked pretty good, okay. a good place to leave it for right now. I'll let this set up a little bit more and go back in with more knives, more brushes, and really bring it all the way to the done. But yeah, I'm liking it so far. It's definitely kind of a challenging lighting situation, but I think it's gonna work out. I think it's best to give it a little bit of patience too, though. So I'll be back in a few. I'm back, I guess, actually. Yeah, I'm just gonna kind of jump back into this one. It's gonna be start in with a small knife now and just kind of keep adjusting some values and some tones and the overall shape of everything. It's gonna be a little bit of everything all over the place, I think. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. And I mostly just focus on trying to mix up some good colors and apply them in the right spots, which is really kind of what it's all about. So I think I'm gonna start. I think I want to keep working on kind of just refining the form on the cat, which I think is gonna be. I'm gonna start with shadows mostly, I think. Let's try that. So I'm gonna make kind of a warm gray. Take a little bit of burnt sienna and a little bit of cobalt. Just gonna see if I can get a nice gray value from that. I'll lift this up with a little bit of white too. Just kind of want a nice base for my gray though. So grab a little of this unbleached titanium and we'll just go in with that. Make a couple different values. That worked. That was a really good combo for a very even gray. You can see it's almost really close to the color of my palette there, which is like a medium gray. So it's a good little thing. I think I want to go in with this right here on this paw to sort of keep helping this define sort of shape here. Could even go just a tad warmer. Keep building up some values. That one's a little lighter, a little warmer. Over here, do a little of that same lighter, warmer gray. A little lighter, a little warmer. good. And because his face is a little bigger, I can actually get a knife in here and do a little bit of work. That's kind of nice. It's going a little bit warmer. Add a little bit of linseed oil into this too. Okay. A little bit of a warm, saturated alizarin colors. I found it's a handy color to have around when you've got light showing through things. You don't always want to use it straight, but it just kind of, if you mix it in a little bit, it sort of gives that glowing effect. It's pretty good. Starting to come together. Sometimes it's just these little details around the eyes and the face really like give each cat its own look. Little sparkly fur bits here. I'll probably come back and do some more with this after, but just kind of, sometimes it's good to just put some paint down as you're thinking. We're not thinking too much. It's kind of nice. Okay. And then back here, a little bit more texture too. I think almost the knife texture is good for the short hair, just because like you don't really need to drag it as much. We'll see how I get along with it the rest of the way. That's pretty cool. Okay. A little bit of this pink just on my knife. Didn't really mean for it to go in here, but let's see. Can always cover it up if it turns out to be not a great choice. Let's see. Got a little of this. I'm gonna kind of alternate between browns and black and the white, and just kind of layer this fur in just the way I see it. I've got the white or the light fur kind of underneath here already from my original layer, and now I'm kind of just creating that texture on top. I think even a little bit of yellow ochre might be good in that too. Adding just a little bit of linseed oil to this because I don't want the earth tones can dry kind of dull. I don't need it so that it flows so much, but just a little bit to kind of help it. I like that texture though, that's nice. Doing the same thing in the shadow here, but just a slightly different, darker complement of colors. That's good. This is the kind of thing I like I just kind of like discovered it as I was working, and I couldn't have really planned that this was gonna work so well with this fur texture here with the knife, but now it is, so it's like, I don't know, I just love that. I love that process of like just working it out in paint. Like sometimes you can't really plan the best things that happen. Fixing that ear shape a little bit. Looks better. Okay, get some titanium white out too. Somehow I knew that once I got into this one, there was no plan that was gonna happen. It was just gonna be do a little of this, do a little of that, and keep moving. So, the spell knife's good because I don't run out of space, and kind of keeps me thinking in small shapes and little details in a way that's, I don't know, somehow it's nice. It just keeps me from overthinking in a way. doing the same thing here too. I've got these whites that I put in yesterday that I had a feeling weren't going on like full strength because they were mixing in a little bit to the previous layer. But now I'm able to get more of that sunlight effect. Okay. Cats are just so good at that too. They know how to find some sunlight. Okay. Coming along. I'm going to soften a few things. I may kind of go back and put more on with the knife. I just want to let some of these white highlights glow a little bit more. Yeah. Just kind of putting in some of these fur directional lines. Doing little short ones though. So I don't want it to look like he has very long hair. Putting a little bit fur texture on this ear. Hairs, I guess, really. Here, same idea. Softening that edge, putting in some of that fur texture. It's a little, that positioning's a little strange, how his back and this ear. I'm gonna just adjust that. Take a little bit of this lavender solvent and see if I can erase it. I may paint over it too, but there might be a way to just lift off this white paint here. Let's see what we get. Okay, just go across this here. Just felt like it lining up with that was just a little strange. Okay. It's pretty good. A little here. In this area I don't want quite as much texture because I want it to be a little bit like sort of faded back. So where I see things here, I'm just gonna probably just mostly put them in with the brush. I want his tail to show up here. I've got the brush in my hand, just do a little bit more with the eyes. Starting to kind of pull into focus, I think. The eye really helped, actually. Okay. Now, I think I'll switch back to my knife for a little bit now. Okay. Here. Bring a little bit more light. Not quite as light as what I have on the face there, but just a little bit here to start giving the shape of him having like a neck, I guess. That's pretty good. And I've got actually a dark area here that it's good because it kind of shows his elbow. Then I want to bring a little bit more light in back there. A little bit of yellow ochre, a little burnt sienna. Let's see. Gonna layer this in a few different spots. Here I've got this little sunlit patch. Anyway, like the way I did like kind of a big messy sort of first layer, now I'm going through and just like looking for things that are wrong. Which like they aren't even wrong because like, I don't know, because I did them wrong. They are in a way, I guess, but it's just because they weren't right yet, you know. And so I just have to make a series of moves in the right direction, I guess, on average. There we go. It's looking good. It's pretty cute. Okay. Yeah, look at a nice tip for doing the just getting these little sort of detail hair shapes into. And like the canvas weave is really kind of doing a nice thing with this too. I guess I don't want to go too dark. I do want to put some texture in here. This highlight to me feels a little bit too bright. So I'm just going over it with a little bit of this sort of gray. Again, it'll work out. Maybe just lift a little of that off too. Actually, let that edge be a little soft. Okay. Just gonna blend that in a little bit with this little more paint down. Go. Okay. Just bring a little bit of a shape adjustment in there. Nice, okay. And a little extra paint in there that isn't helping anything. So I'm just going to take that out. There we go. Bring a little bit more white in here. This sort of have a little bit of a fuzzier edge. That's pretty good. Kind of doing the same thing over here, but I'm doing this with gray, just so that it doesn't look quite so sharp there. There we go. Okay. And a little bit more gray here. All these little bits with the contrast is really starting to make it have that glow to it, which is nice. Okay, and then here, a little more of that gray. Yeah, he needs a little shaping right there. For his chin. And then a little gray here. Just to kind of bring that in. And a little white. Sometimes you kind of end up going over something just to get the shape right. You can bring it back a little bit easier than it is to do it some other way. That's looking pretty good. Okay. As I get in closer and closer, I'll start to see more things that I can adjust to get it kind of closer, get the right feel for it overall. It's a little too dark. A bit more white in here. A little warmer. Okay. Let's put a little bit of fur texture here. I'm not as quite as much of this in the darker areas, but I think a little's good. Okay. Sometimes I'm just doing like kind of the edge of a lit area. There we go. Yeah, I think it's starting to happen. I'll do a little with this area too. Again, this is very short fur, so I'm just doing little kind of scrubby motions here. Doesn't have as much definition, but it's good if it all like looks like it goes together. There we go. Even get a nice little bit of impasto here. I have to give some attention to these paws. They're kind of an important part of this piece. I don't know if I dislike painting hands or paws more. Probably hands. Paws, at least they're fluffy. There we go. A little bit of this. That one looks huge. Looks like a giant paw right now. Okay, and then I've got a little bit of, let's see. Ooh, actually, I'm gonna do a little bit of same texture back here. Especially like all these edges where the light is catching. That fur texture like kind of matters even more. The dark areas that don't catch the light, it's not as impactful. It's looking fairly good. I want to put, there's like these little bands of color on the tail that I want to bring in. Those are, they're more, I guess they're kind of a gray brown. They're not super bright. I'm just gonna, oh, that's about right. In this area it's a little lighter. Where this sun is coming through there. There's actually, I lost it earlier, but it's like a bright spot on the couch here. It's right behind him. It's sort of catching the same sun ray. Just kind of keep that there for now. Kind of come back to it. Maybe I'll actually paint the edges on it just a little. Okay, that's pretty good. I'm just gonna texture this the same way as I did the other fur textures. Let's see what we can do with this tail. That's pretty cool. He's glowing. All right. I'm going to take another break on this one and come back to it one more time. Maybe a couple more times. It's good to stay fresh. I do want to give a little bit more light to this area right above this eye here. Just went in with the unbleached titanium because it's pretty close to sort of the light tone on some of this brown fur. Do a little bit of yellow ochre to that again. There we go. Okay. Pretty good. Just like one little spot in that eye that was sitting a little bit too high over the pupils. I'm just going back in. I'm just gonna hit that one more time. It's always tricky. So you want to get the placement just right. Okay, that looks better. Good. A little texture on that. I just wanted that mouth to have a little more edge there. That's better. I'm going to take a little break and I'll be back in a few. Alright, and I'm back for some more fun with this guy. So yeah, I'm just going to be kind of doing final touches on this. A lot of it's going to be just continuing to kind of work with the texture, and get everything kind of like feeling good together. And once I kind of have it in a nice place that way, I'll probably just throw a couple little details in. I want to do the whiskers and like little eye highlights and things like that, but you know, other things might occur to me along the way, but I'm just gonna get with it and see how it goes. Okay. So I'm gonna mix up some decent sized portions of like a few different colors that I want to use to kind of work into these cushions a little bit more. I think in particular in this area, this light is doing some interesting things that aren't really showing yet. So I'm gonna layer in some lights. I'm gonna layer in some midtones. I'm gonna probably scratch it all down with a knife. So yeah, I'm gonna start with a value that's somewhat, it's kind of like a somewhat cool gray, but it's fairly light. So I'll take some titanium white. I'll take some cobalt and some burnt sienna. So I did that before and I thought it made a nice gray. How's that looking? A little darker than that. It's pretty good. Just pop a little bit of linseed oil in this. Make it flow a little bit nicer. And then I'm just going to go into this. It's like the light edge of this bright area here. Just make it a little sharper. I've got one like that, and then one like that. I keep just kind of dragging some little shapes here. I don't want to fill this in entirely here. I want to kind of leave it rough, but I would just grab a little bit of variation. I can even maybe do a step a little lighter than that too. Mainly I wanted to get this edge to be hard, and I don't want it to be too distracting though. Like, it's bright, but it's also not to focus, so I kind of have like a little bit of a balancing act there. Do a little that over here as well. There, I think I can even be a little warmer, so not that warm. Let's try a little. I want this edge here to be the brightest, and this going just a little darker, but still bright. I'm just going to just give this paw a little bit more separation. And really, when you think about the couch is tan and the fur is actually white, so it makes sense that even though they're both really brightly lit, that they're not exactly the same either. Okay. Do a little bit down here. Here I'm just kind of rolling this knife just a little. I'll pick this up. Just kind of creating this edge that looks a little like this sort of cabling on the edge of the cushion. That's catching kind of the most light over here. The rest of this edge is pretty dark. Sort of works. It's kind of a simple thing. But I'm gonna do A little of the same. Just the top of this. Okay. Worked pretty well actually. Yeah, I've got some yellow, some brown, some gray, some different colors that are they're all kind of neutral, but they're not like the same color. And I think that so it's just giving it a little extra vibrance, which is nice in a painting that has kind of a compressed color palette. So I've got a very bright edge in here. I actually want to bring it down a little bit from how it's shown. I'm going to start by bringing in some of this gray tone, but I'm going to mix a even lighter one. A little yellow ochre, a little white. Yeah, that worked pretty well. That's a very sunny color. A little bit of linseed oil for that. On this edge here, it's better if it fills in a little bit more. Put a little bit more white. Just add a little more paint to that in general. It's a little thin. Feeling a little too drippy. Okay. Switch back to my knife now. Just layer a little bit more in here. Another kind of somewhat hard edge right here. It's just kind of sloping down. Okay. little bit more brown, a little bit more gray. Just want to go in here and put just a little bit of light. Sort of reflected light. There we go. I don't know why I use that brush. I don't really like that brush. The nice thing is the previous layer on this is pretty dry, so I can scrub that new paint out of it really pretty easily. Okay. Do I come in here, just put a little bit more shade. Cool. Okay. It's looking pretty good. Oh, that was the other thing. I wanted to give a little more contrast around his tail. Just to give a little show here. Just picking up some of this reflected light and actually just almost boosting it up a little bit extra, just to create a little bit more light back here. I don't want to go too crazy, but I just want to give this tail a little, not an outline because I don't actually want it to be like outlined looking, but just a little something to set it off from the rest of the scene. There we go. It's a little better. Maybe like make some thick, dark paint back there. I'll do some proper alizarin viridian and a little linseed oil to make it shiny. Be a little bit shiny anyway, but I'm just gonna give it a little extra. A little extra. take. To just make a couple of small adjustments here. For some reason that little edge was bugging me. It's just a little too knifey looking. I don't know. I don't really want to worry about over smoothing all of these, but I think that a little here and there will be kind of nice. Pretty good. Take a little of this sienna and white. I'm just gonna put a little bit more sort of brown in here, like this pink that I put in yesterday that I wasn't so sure about. Just got a little extra. A couple of light up hairs over on this side. That's cute. Okay. Let's see. A little bit of burnt umber into this as well. Just want to layer that in as well. Just still like it pretty bright. On here. And then I want to do just a tiny touch of Viridian and white. I'm going to put a couple of little eye highlights in. Got one on this side. Almost slipped on that. And then just a little bit more over here. And then a little bit up here. This one. Go like that. And then a little bit on the nose right here too. Of this little area here, which should be his back, and I have his ear there. A little gray, a little white, sort of in this sunlit black fur area. Okay. A little gray, a little white. I'm going to soften this just a little right here. Okay, let's see if I can finish up these feet. This one looks pretty good. He's got a little bit of a grip here, I guess. And does have his claws out. So I'm just gonna catch match those with some highlights. And then over on this foot, he's got, his claws are all out. And he's also got, you can kind of like see where they're coming out of his toes. It's like probably like actually just too much information though. I think I need to just simplify this a little bit. And I'll do the same thing. I'm gonna go lighter, let some of the light kind of hit them. And just fix up some of the fur around them there. It's actually darker. I'm just gonna not force it to be so intense. Let's see, got this little pillow edge here. I think that might be pretty nice. Step back one more time and see if I feel like anything else needs adjusting. I feel like this like texture here maybe similar. I like that light was there, but I think it's probably kind of competing with my subject a little bit. Cool. All right. I like this texture because I brushed it out and it got a little bit flat. No, that wasn't what I was going for. Okay. sunshine. Put it on that towel. That could be good. And kind of same here. All right. Just a tad softer. Okay. I'm close, really close. A little bit more of like fur texture here. I think that I just had it relate to the face a little bit more. It's so bright, it's like you can't really even tell exactly what's happening here. But I think some thicker paint would be nice. Maybe. I think I'm gonna bring a little bit, just some tiny knife textures. Just little short strokes. That's good. Yeah, I think that's good. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this, and I hope you have a wonderful day or night, or whatever you're off to next. I almost forgot. Oh, whiskers. Okay, so let's get in here, grab a little bit of gray, white, and just gonna pop these right in, kind of fearlessly. A couple that go up and out, and a bunch that go down. A few of these eyelash ones as well. Okay, now we're good. I hope you have a wonderful day or night, or whatever you're off to next.